It's all about fishing. It's all about hunting. It's all about the great outdoors. And it's all about outdoors with Captain Roy and Cheryl.
Good morning, folks. Welcome aboard. We're down here in this beautiful Bear Creek Lodge. We got a good show. I hope we got a good show lined up. Anyway, Cheryl. And I guess the first thing I better do, so don't forget it, is the fishing report from Lake Seminole, Jody Wells. Jody says, and that the hybrids and the stripers are in pre-spawn. They're coming out of the creeks and the sloughs and things, and they're getting out into the main part of the lake. It's a good time to catch them, and also the bass bite's still good. All fishing. The bluegills, they're on kind of a pre-spawn. And Lake Seminole, folks, is good fishing. If you catch the wind right, you can go over there and have a big time. If you want to go with a good guide, give Jody Wells a call, and he'll be glad to take you. And this morning, as I mentioned in the last week's program, I have solved a mystery that's been a mystery, Cheryl, all my life. And that's a long time.
It is.
Since I was a boy. And I'm going to start out by telling you that I did a lot of alligator hunting with my dad. And even after I left home, I did a lot of alligator hunting. You could sell the hides, and for about $3 a foot. And so it made it worthwhile. And my daddy knew every gator hole and every pond that there was, from Highway 79 to Bunker, all that area. And we hunted all those ponds. But there was one pond in particular that I didn't really want to hunt that. It was called the Haney Pond. Haney Pond. It was located just off the Otter Creek Fish Count Road. And Daddy said one day, he said, son, we need to go up there and go in the old Haney Pond. I said, Daddy, are you sure? Here was the logistic, I don't know, Cheryl, I don't know how to call it, but anyway, the story was told, and I'd heard it all my life, that a man named Haney was killed by his father-in-law, Walter Boutwell, and his daughter Bama. Now, Mr. Haney was married to Bama Boutwell. And the story was that they got in an argument, and that Bama and Mr. Walter Boutwell killed Haney, tied him around a pole to him, and hid him in a gator cave in that pond. Now they call it a pond, but really that's just a swamp. When we went in there, and it was just a rough swamp. There was just one little hole of water in there. They had a gator cave in it. Dad said that's the only gator cave that's in this pond. And I said we went in there, and we caught or killed a gator. I don't remember whether we took him alive or killed him, but in that gator cave. Well, it's been a legendary story all my life. I've heard it, and it's kind of strange. But Mr. Calvin Kramer won the fishing trip with Jody Wells over in Lake Seminole, and he called me to find out how to get a hold of Jody. And during our conversation, he brought out the fact that he had relations over in my area, and he said he was kin to the Barretts and the Boutwells and the Haneys. I said, hold on a minute, you were related to the Haneys? And I told him this story that I'd heard all my life. And he said, well, that's not the story that I heard. He said, I heard that he stepped in a sinkhole and it buried him, and they never was able to recover his body. He said, that was told to me, but he said, in later years, I found out the truth. He said he was running from the law. He had killed his brother, and he just hid his tracks by faking a death, really. So that's how those stories got out. And I said, are you sure, Calvin? And he said, I'm going to send you an email. And so I'm going to read this email, Cheryl. This comes from Calvin Kramer. And he says, Dear Captain Roy, just thought I would send you these photos. since we were talking about the Haneys. Now let me tell you, this story started back in the 1800s, and the disappearance of Mr. Haney was somewhere in the early 1900s. So I'll stop there. He said, I really enjoyed talking to you. He said, John Henry Haney, there's his picture right there. He was born in 1870 and he died in 1945 in Alabama. Now, he didn't tell me the city in Alabama, but he said he knew where his grave was. And he said this second picture is a picture of my grandmother, Bama Boutwell. So you know it's the same people. And she was born in 1879 and she died in 1961 in Walden County. And she was my great-grandmother. And John Henry Boutwell was my great-grandfather. Now that solves the mystery. It kind of messed up the story, the legend that I've heard all of my life, Cheryl, about old Haney Pond. But there's nothing to folks you can go on it. No, it's a rough pond. But Mr. Haney, yeah, maybe he rest in peace. He brought the Haney Pond mystery to a close.
Cat Roy story time. And also, we went up and saw Bill Cleckley with the Water Management District, and he gave us a tour at Pitt Spring. And so we put together a short video, or actually, it was about an hour-long interview, and we condensed it down to 5 minutes. So hope you guys enjoyed a little sneak peek into Pitt Spring.
Our folks, Dr. Tamil and his staff, they're fast, they're friendly, and they're efficient.
We treat hepatitis, indigestion, gastric ulcers, diarrhea,
constipation,
colon cancer,
colon polyps,
hemorrhoids.
Hi, I'm Cindy. Give me a call to schedule an appointment.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I check the patients in and I work with the charts.
Hey, I'm Jessica. I'm Dr. Tamil's nurse. If you have any questions, just give us a call.
Panama City Gastroenterology, located at Northport Professional Center.
Hi, I'm Rick, owner of Affordable Appliance Repair. With over 40 years experience, we offer $29.95 service call fees anywhere in Bay County, plus 10% discounts to our senior citizens, military, police, and fire departments. If you're tired of high appliance repair costs, call us, Affordable Appliance Repair, 215-2550. That's 215-2550.
Hi folks, I'm BJ with BJ's Marine. This has been a family-owned and operated business for over 20 years. We pride ourselves in the sales and service of Nissan and Tohatsu outboards. At BJ's, we have factory-trained and authorized technicians for Nissan and Tohatsu. We also repair most any make or model outboard. Call or come by BJ's Marine Service at 1317 Transmitter Road. And folks, we really do appreciate your business.
When you think of a successful hunting season, two things come to mind: Browning and C&G Sporting Goods. Browning is the best there is, and C&G Sporting Goods is your factory direct, full-line Browning dealer. C&G stocks Browning guns, camo, knives, scopes, gun safes, bows, and much more, including hunting and fishing license. Look over the new Browning BAR camo short frag and X-Bolt rifles. Why pay good money for anything less than a Browning? Browning and C&G, the best there is. Home of the experts.
I tell you what I like about Coram. I like the food, I like the price, I like the quality, I like the quantity of it. But what I like most about Coram Steak and Eggs is I like that friendly atmosphere that I always find when I dine out there. It's owned and operated by Linda and Willie Coram. They are the original, and they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and their breakfast out of this world. My favorite is the world famous Coram Heavenly Hash. Coram Steak and Eggs, 804 South Tyndall Parkway. I know she had closed off.
Springs used to look like concrete, kind of a rock wall built entirely around the spring pool. We were basically putting band-aids on a major hemorrhage, and we decided about 4 years ago to take a comprehensive look at doing spring restoration protection, try to come up with a conceptual design to restore and protect these spring areas. and at the same time provide for good public access and good natural resource-based public recreation. At the very beginning of it, we brought in what we call it is the ad hoc spring restoration. Went and brought in some large limestone boulders. Our goal there was to try to bring in limestone that was similar in geologic age and form. One of the primary purposes of that limestone, and you'll see, to help stabilize that spring pool somewhat, and to give people a place that they can sit on when they're swimming in the spring. And let all this vegetation grow in, keeping people on the structures and on the trails and not walking down in the rocks and not walking around the spring pool. That's very important to protection, long-term protection of this site. And that's going to be one of our hardest issues to put in these aluminum steps. There's actually a little handicap platform here, so a person that is ADA, it's in ADA compliance, they can get out of the wheelchair here and scooch down, holding that rail and get down. Side by side picnic pavilions. We have grills, stainless grills that will mount on those black poles. We put in a nice floating dock down here. That's actually a canoe kayak cradle at the end. Down there we are going to have to put some more cleats on the dock to tie up more canoes. The purpose here is for people coming down the creek from the livery or further north. They can tie up here, get out, walk up, view the facility, use the restroom if they need be, or whatever, swim in the spring, enjoy themselves for, and then get back in their canoes. And this is a tube launch. Young people needed a little extra recreational amenity.
You can launch your tube right here?
Yeah.
How long of a journey is it?
It's probably 5-10 minutes. And what we don't want to see here is people climbing out on the banks and getting off of these boardwalk and trail areas and causing additional problems to the site. And that's where it's going to take the public's participation in trying to follow the signage and the rules of the area and basically protecting their property. This is public property. We're just trying to manage it for them and protect it for the future generations. We put this nice overlook deck. Canoes can still come up and circle through the spring, but the public can walk down here and look at the spring bubbling up through the rocks. It's about 1/3 of a mile up there. It's a pretty good little hike, but I think once we get it established and improved, it's going to be a really nice amenity. And like I said, this is going to tie all these spring systems together into one large recreation area and hopefully scatter the people out over the system so we don't have 100 or 200 people that just impact one site like they used to do at Pitt. That same trail will come through here and it'll be a boardwalk type trail about 39 inches wide. It'll come through here and we'll bridge these little swale areas, tie in with the trail that leads from the Sylvan Strickland Road parking lot all the way to Williford Springs. So there's going to be a huge trail network here. And once again, it's trying to spread people out and let them get a feel for all the really nice natural habitats and geologic features. And this is the Williford Spring Run. You can see the change in the water color coming off of that. What we're trying to do here, by far our biggest impacts are from the canoeists and kayakers going up the spring run. We understand that that is sovereign, state-owned property. But if people would just come up, stay in their canoes and kayaks, and not impact the bank and not impact the spring vent, it wouldn't be a problem. But over time, that causes more and more degradation. What we're going to try to do here, the purpose of this dock, is allow them to bring their canoes here, tie up, take this boardwalk all the way back up to the spring, allow them to swim and recreate in the spring by going in the entrance and exit steps, and voluntarily ask for compliance not to paddle up the spring run. We're going to try that for a number of years and monitor it and see what kind of and see how the spring run heals itself. If there is a desire from the public to have another what I call sneak peek of the facility, we did one back in January that's advertised in the paper. fully prepared to do another one on a better weather day. That was pretty cold that day. And on a Saturday to allow people to come up, give them a tour of the facility, tell them what was involved and what we've done, and so they get a chance to at least see what they can expect once it's open.